another episode of the Lab Review. Today, of course, I'm joined by my lovely co-host. We have
Welcome back to another episode of the Lab Review. We're your hosts, La Ramsey, Ari, and Britt.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the Lab Review. I am here with my co-host,
La Ramsey.
Ari.
and it's me, your girl Britt.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned in to another episode of the Lab Review. We're your hosts, La Ramsey, Ari, and Britt. This week, we're talking about mothers, our relationships with our mothers. As we are approaching Mother's Day, it is definitely a family affair. Ladies, I know that mother-daughter relationships can definitely be challenging. Speaking from the daughter's side, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely happy for the transition from, I would consider, strictly mother to daughter to somewhat of mother-friend relationship with my mother. But something that I wanted to spend a little time tonight talking about is just the different phases of adulthood, well, transition from childhood to adulthood, and how your relationship has transitioned with your mothers. Now, Britt, I hope you don't mind us sharing. We know that your mother has passed, but you're now a mother yourself, so you can provide a perspective that me, Nola Ramsey, can bring to the table as far as how it is being on the other side.
Right.
I'm a godmother and I'm an aunt, but it's definitely not a full-time role. So I kind of got some questions for you.
For me?
For you. We're going to put you in the hot seat a little bit.
Okay. Let's go. I'm ready.
So I always wonder, like, when you're a parent, because I feel like it would be a major focus of mine, like, as you, especially with your daughter, but with your son also, as you see them growing and maturing a little bit, and you're a biological mother of two, and you have two bonus daughters. So one daughter, and so three total daughters.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about, do you think about like your childhood and like maybe some ways that you felt were like a little too strict on you, or things that you wanted to do differently, maybe with raising your child, and if that's something that's been in your mind during your parenting?
Well, thank you for putting me on the spot. Now the world knows I have a minivan. Joking. I feel like I'm not sure if my childhood really played a part into raising my children now. I feel like the times are pretty different. I feel like we definitely allow our children to be more vocal, and that is something that I didn't necessarily have as a childhood. Like, you were to be seen and not heard. So I feel like just a lot of things that could possibly happen. Like, you'll be afraid to express yourself. So I feel like that's a difference. I definitely allow my children to speak how they feel without being rude or disrespectful. In the same breath, I feel like I was a pretty good child, right? Like, I don't think I gave my parents any problems compared to my siblings. So if my children were to be just like me growing up, like, I would consider myself blessed, but they are not. They are just like their dad. So that's a little different. But I feel like they all got their own personalities. So like, you just have to parent each child differently. Like, no two people are the same. So things that I learned, my husband and I, we just try to find a happy medium with raising our kids, because obviously we both have different backgrounds. His family is very military and very strict, and like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm the youngest on my side from both parents. My parents had me at an older age, so although I wasn't a bad child, I realized that I did get away with a lot of stuff. You know, I had they trusted me with a lot of things that I look back now, I'm like, I could have been doing this and that. But, you know, like I didn't do it because I feel like they gave me like this look. And once my mom gave me those eyes, like under her glasses, it was a wrap. Like she didn't even have to whoop me. Like she just had to look at me.
So to that point, are you giving your children as many freedoms and liberties as you had as a child?
So they do get a lot of freedoms and liberties just because, you know, like I said, the times have changed, you know what I'm saying? Like no one goes around just whooping on their kids these days, you know, like things are different. So I feel like we are a very communicative family. Like we talk things through and talk about it and try to find like, you know, why we're disappointed in you, you know, versus just, you know, hitting with the belt. So they're different and they do get away with a lot of stuff. And it also could be because I don't have either one of my parents. So, you know, they got a little sympathy for them. Mm-hmm. Like spoil without saying that they spoil.
I think they probably get that pretty honest. I think, you know, maybe with you being the baby and the youngest
right
of older parents, I think you may have been a little, you know, I don't want to say
spoiled. I was spoiled? So, okay, so I feel like I probably was spoiled, but I also felt like I didn't give my parents any reason to not spoil me. I'm gonna say like also being spoiled, my siblings came into part too, because things that my parents couldn't afford or they didn't want to get me, my older siblings will always get it for me. So I guess I'm spoiled.
But I think the word spoiled has such a negative connotation. I think, you know,
right.
The word spoiled in itself has such a negative connotation. To me, spoiled is giving someone who doesn't necessarily always do the right things. Like if you have a problem child and you're still giving them whatever, that's a spoiled child. But if you have a child that really doesn't, you know, isn't a problem and they want things and they do all the right things, I don't consider that to be spoiled in a negative way.
So I don't know, because my son is a perfect student, right? So, you know, he gets what he wants typically, you know, like he's good at his extracurricular, he's good in karate, but his behavior sucks, you know? So it's like, but in the same breath, like, you know, like we have our daughters who are like really good in school, but they are not in gifted classes, you know? So I definitely have a balance, you know, like, it is day and night on every aspect with both of them.
Yeah.
So, and
speaking of children and roles, I know that you're the baby. I'm the second daughter, and so I'm like a half middle. And then La Ramsey, you're the oldest. So I'm going to put you on the spot now and get your kind of perspective from being the oldest child and kind of what that was like for you.
So, for me,
it is like,
well, and I think for me, I'm like Britt's older siblings, because there's a big age difference. I'm 10 years older than one sibling and 12 years older than the other. And everybody always used to ask, y'all have the same parents? Yeah.
Yes.
But by the time my second brother came, my parents divorced, and so my mom was a single mother, and she worked two full-time jobs. She was in the military, and then she would get off that job. If she had schoolwork to do, she'll do her schoolwork, and then she'll go to another job. And so she was still getting her schooling and doing all of that. But I got a chance to rest in my big sister / parenting when we moved back home. She got out of the military before retiring. And when we moved back to Georgia, we had babysitters, but I also had a lot of bosses, a lot of mothers, a full-time granddaddy, and that was different for me.
Yeah.
It was an adjustment because I went from being my mom's gone, so I'm the boss.
You were like the momster.
The momster.
Yeah. I was, but my mom did whatever she could to,
Yeah.
take care of us. But once we did go home, I had freedom. Not that kind of freedom, because my mom is strict
Yeah.
when it comes to me. The boys, she a whole nother parent. I don't know that lady.
Listen, the way mothers parent daughters and sons are completely different. How Britt? Okay. Moving along.
So I just feel like with girls, they're more delicate. Is so much more to teach them. So it is different. Like I said, my whole theory is like there is no cookie cutter parent, is no cookie cutter situation. Like every situation or every level just requires you to act as a different parent, right? So I can't say, yay or nay, because she may do something that's like not on the same level as what he did. So they can't get the same discipline. It's not even the same, not even the same mistake or whatever the case may be. So it is different. And everybody says Braylon is my favorite, and that is not true. So just want to put that out there.
Okay. Yeah.
We know you love all your children, but
I have a favorite. I have a favorite son. I have a favorite daughter, and I love my bonus babies. See, there's no favorites. They just got different. They came in my lives at different times. They have different purposes. It's different. Okay. I'm gonna stand on that.
Well, Ari, what's it like being in the middle?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like being in the middle. And so I'm the second daughter. My sister's 4 years older than me, and I feel like my sister swears that we got away with a lot of things that she didn't get away with. Maybe, I don't know how true that is. We really weren't we weren't as much of a problem as she was. Sorry, sis, if you're listening to this, but you were kind of like, but anyway, so there wasn't as much of a need for, to be, okay, I had a mouth. And so, I got it honestly from my mother. So we would go back and forth about things sometimes, but they kind of like, they try to say you have the middle child syndrome. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like, but I guess feel like because I was kind of stuck in between in a little bit, because I have a twin brother, and then I have an older sister, then I have a younger brother. So it was kind of an awkward kind of situation. I guess in some ways you may feel like, I don't say you're overlooked, because you're not necessarily overlooked, but maybe not like as much attention is brought on certain things. And overall it worked out, I'll say. I didn't have as many responsibilities as my sister, so that was a good thing. And I was just very, besides my mouth,
spoiled.
I wasn't spoiled. I wasn't spoiled.
Girl, yeah, was spoiled.
My mother raised 4 children. Granted, there's assistance from my father. I'm not going to say I had a deadbeat dad, because that's not true. But my mother was the primary provider of 4 children on a school teacher's salary. So,
so I don't feel like spoiled has to necessarily be materialistic or spending money, right? Like Braylon is spoiled in his way, because at night I have to like massage his head for him to fall asleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's BS. Or scratch my back. But like when they were babies, I don't know, like I came across this article and it was like giving babies like baby massages or something like that. So like I would give them baby massages and put them to bed, and Roger just thought that was just like, like you're gonna pay for that when they get older. Right. Like he was like, you gotta rub them to sleep. So like I'll just rub their shoulders or like, move their little joints around till they fall asleep. So Bree doesn't need that anymore. But like Braylon, he definitely was like, oh my, can you rub my shoulders? Like, so I'm always like rubbing his shoulders, and Roger like looks over and was like, you are spoiling him. Like,
he's in karate, so he might need it.
Yes.
Right. All those classes that he's taken. Like I said, I don't have any favorites. But like when Roger comes through the door, like Bree is daddy, like, oh, my daddy's home, right? And when I come to the door, she's like, "Hey, mommy," or whatever. So Braylon, like when I come to the door, he's like, "Mommy, how was your day?" Like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" So I feel like they just have different roles. Like they just do different things. So like, but he'll like really check on me. He's like, "Mommy, you okay?" And like the number of times that the girls check on me, I could count it on my hand. Like, do you see that with your siblings and your mom as well? Like, do you feel like she favored her boys more?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Shit, I guess it's normal. Like,
Well, and I'm going to tell you what my mom used to say. It had nothing to do with male versus female, which I know that's not true,
Right.
Mom. I'm sorry you listened, but that was a big part of it. But also the age difference of where my mom was. With me, I mean, she had me at 20. By the time she had my brother, she was almost 30. So, and she said, "I'm old now. I'm old. That's why." I was like, okay, whatever.
Well, you do have to factor that in, honestly.
Especially with the
like
aunts,
I told you,
the aunts as well.
I told you guys, my parents were 41 and 43. Like, what the hell? What was they about to do with me?
Hey.
I had no choice
Wait
but
a
to be
minute.
spoiled.
But you know, nowadays that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
That is normal. But I can tell you this: if I had a child, I'm 35 now. So if I had a child between now and whatever age, they will get away with bloody murder because ain't no way I could chase no bait. They'll be able to do whatever the hell they want to do.
Well, and not only that, I mean, you just kind of think about where you could be. Now, when I was life planning, I just knew I was going to be married with a baby at 25.
You too? You too?
Yeah, and then the closer I got to, I even wanted 5 kids. I wanted four boys and a girl. Well, as I had siblings, male siblings, I was like, oh no, I could take one son. They're just nasty.
So I feel like God has a very funny sense of humor because in my high school yearbook, I wanted to be married. I wanted to be a lawyer, but I wanted 4 kids. And my sisters, they always joke and they was like, well, obviously you didn't tell him that, you know, like you didn't want any stepchildren or, you know, like how you wanted your 4 kids, right? Like you got 4 kids, right? So I was like, you know, you're right. Like, I guess I did ask for this.
You had a different, I grew like at the same time with 3 other children. Y'all did not. That's why y'all talk about 4 or 5 kids. Whoa.
I never had that.
Never.
Right.
Never.
I never had that. By the time I came, my siblings were already at the house. So I truly grew up like the only child. And I truly used to be bored out of my goddamn mind because I had no one to play with. Like, no one.
Yeah.
Well, what was wrong with your imagination? Because for 9 years, that's all I had was my imagination.
I mean, I had to use my imagination, but I remember like writing like I want a big family. I don't ever want to feel lonely. Like I don't want to be by myself. And then, you know, like my dad died when I was 13 and my mom had health issues. So for like a long time, I really felt lonely. You know what I mean? Like, so like I knew that I wanted a husband, wanted like this big old house and these million kids because I just needed a noisy house because I know what it feels like to be in dead silence. Like,
so when my sister was I guess like 4 when we were born, and when my mom was pregnant with us, my mom asked my sister, well, what do you want? You want a brother or a sister, you know? And she said, I want both. And guess what? She got both. And then after she got both, she wanted to send us back. So I mean,
oh, that was so cute.
And then 18 months later, she got a bonus. So you know,
which I feel so sorry like for your youngest brother because y'all came as a duo.
I honestly think that
I think he probably spoiled rotten.
I think he is on some ways he is spoiled rotten. Like when you say the mama's baby. However, I think that he did feel like, you know, maybe a little like we came as a set. You know what I mean? Like, so right. I think maybe he felt like a little, you know, maybe left out. I don't know.
Slighted.
Maybe, you know, but you know.
And that's probably why she may have catered to him, because he was all by himself and
He
y'all
had my sister.
together.
Right.
He had my sister who was almost 6 years older than him, and she treated him like a baby forever. Even when he was too big, she was carrying him around, which I insist is the reason why she's only 5 today. Sorry, sis, but just saying.
So she part of
Growth.
the problem, which I can hear that. Now for us, so like my oldest brother, that was my mom, baby, baby, baby. I think she breastfed him until he was like 15. No. I mean, he was old enough to come home and say what he wanted when he wanted. I'm looking at little Zhao,
No.
the little panda at the Smithsonian, and he basically walking around saying, "Oh, mom, I want to eat here. I want to eat that. I want to drink this. I want to nurse here." And I'm like, Mejon, Jatichi, he getting too big now. He can eat whatever he want. He can eat table food. Jatichi don't need that. Well, Jatichi remind me of my brother. I don't want to say his name. But he basically came home and said what he wanted when he wanted. And he is spoiled rotten to this day. And that is my mom's baby, even though she has a baby baby.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting.
My my brother was my brother's only son, and that's her baby. That was her baby. He was the only boy.
The mother-son thing.
Oh, I got one more thing. When Braylon was little, he used to do these little things with his lips, like he'll like put him up when he get really sad. Oh my God.
Oh.
Oh my God, what's wrong? I know, like when he was like, when he needed something or he couldn't get his help, like his little lip would like turn up, girl, it would just break my heart.
With all that hair and he was so cute. Yeah.
All his hair, he was so chunky, like.
As you transition, I know we talk about teenage years were probably the roughest. I think that's kind of a general thing with daughters and mothers. Teenage years, they weren't terrible, but they could, they were a little bit rough. And then I would say we kind of transitioned or shifted into more of a friendship probably around my mid-20s. And so I don't know if you all feel like the relationship shifted at some point between yourselves and your mothers. And go ahead, Laura Ramsey.
Yep.
That's it. Yep.
It was because high school years it was rough. I bet on the both of us because you try. For the most part, I was a good kid. Like you, I also had a mouth, which I still have. That didn't change. But my mom was so strict. She was like, it was crazy strict. Like, it didn't make no sense how strict she was. That's why I'm like, who are you when it comes to my brothers? Because I just don't know who she is. But she didn't want a boy to come in the yard. She didn't want them to be nowhere near the house. If she even heard, my brother, the middle one with his big mouth, that's why the baby and I were always like this, because he's like, such and such was at the house. And I was like, he wasn't at the house, he was outside. I got in trouble and got on punishment.
Wow.
No.
17. Yep.
Oh, I gotta go back to this story then. We're talking about. So because me and my brothers are closer in age, I guess we were more like hang out and everything. My sister wanted nothing to do with me really until I probably got maybe, she swears it's younger, but I would say till I got 18 or older. Okay. So I would hang out with my brothers and everything. I remember one time, me and my younger brother were outside fighting. We had to jump somebody.
No.
And my twin brother did his usual thing of sitting back on the porch watching the fight, and then said, I'm going to tell mother when she comes home that y'all are out here fighting. So, just to say, we got in a little trouble for, embarrassing of the neighborhood and all of that type of stuff. But, oftentimes me and my younger brother would get into trouble together, just because I think I don't know, like we may have had more in common. Like we're both into sports and everything. Like my sister had nothing to do with me, so I would play with my brother, and one of our friends across the street. Like I played with them a lot. There were no other girls in the neighborhood, so and then after a while, my twin brother, he stopped coming outside to play, and he preferred to stay inside and read and watch TV. So it would just be us, and so I think we probably had a little more of a connection from that type of stuff. And so we would kind of get in some trouble from time to time with things like the fight, the jumping, and all of that. But I couldn't, you coming into my yard, I can't let I think I might have used the broom maybe. Whatever.
Girl.
Yeah, so we were being ghetto and we got in a little bit of trouble for that. But twin brother was the snitch. Still is. Still is. What'd you say?
On the east side, being ghetto.
He was
twin
the
brother.
snitch.
He say, oh, he's telling mother on y'all.
I'm telling mother, she comes home. And
You
have to understand the neighborhood. Like this was not acceptable. It was not acceptable.
Right.
I have to say that. So but we're a couple of blocks over. We was by some hood folks, and they would come over there and try and start stuff. So we weren't about to let them.
But that block is real small. The hood area is
Yeah, but
this
it's
big.
so close. Like,
but the hood area is small.
But it's right there, and it's more.
It's literally like one little.
It's on. No, it's not. It's on both sides. It's on both sides.
That's what a cul-de-sac is. You mean across the street?
And it used to be no. So it used to be.
That's like just like this.
It's on both sides, because you got further down that street. If you keep passing my street, you have another apartment area. I'm not trying to give specifics. And then right before, there's some others. So not saying that it's anything wrong with those people or people, it was just always issues with stuff. But anyway, so we just had to let you know, we might not come over here and start nothing. So, but anyway, Marius was a snitch. I'm going to call him out. He was a snitch, and he all continued to be the snitch until adulthood. Anything something went down, and we would be trying to keep it on the low. Here he go.
Maybe he was your good conscience.
I didn't need a good conscience in everything. Some things were what they were. But anyway, I didn't mean to take us back because we had moved on.
No, y'all okay.
It's fine.
You know what they say? There is we get senioritis, 12th grade year. There's something that parents get as well.
What is that?
I don't remember the name of it. It's a technical term. And I read it in a 17 magazine. I was like, see, Mom, this is what's wrong with you, right here.
You read it in a 17 magazine designed for young people? Was this something real or was it made up? Come on now.
Right.
Sure, it was real, but I was like, you got all of these signs. It's right here in writing. And what happened as soon as I graduated, I was right in Atlanta.
You're like, all right, well, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Yep, I said bye to the boy that was in the yard too.
Well, Britt.
My mom used to be like, she doesn't want any boys on the steps. No boys on the porch. I'm like, Lord, lady.
I dare not. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit. I don't know if you feel comfortable. I don't want to. Just transitioning from because I think at some point our relationships kind of transition with our mothers to more of a friendship kind of on a certain level. And I'm wondering if you felt
So to answer your question, Ari, I feel like because my dad died at 13, it was just her and I for a long time that we did build a friendship, or a bond, because it was just us. So we would travel together. Like I probably slept with her till I was about 16 every night. Slept in her bed. So yeah, we was like, don't be making those faces. It was just her and I in the house. So we would watch a movie and fall asleep. But I, sleep in my mom's bed, whatever. But it wasn't until like she found a boyfriend that kind of kicked me to the curb or whatever that I started to get in my feelings. But like, but before that, I felt like it was just me and her like all the time. Like, you know, matching outfits. So that's probably why I do so much matchy stuff with Brie, because my mom and I used to the mommy daughter set with everything. But I do feel like the age that she passed away, 24, that is the age when you kind of really need, you know, more of that motherly advice. So I feel like even to today, you know, like I still struggle with the fact that I don't have anybody to call to get certain advice from, you know what I mean? So like a lot of decision making, you know, like I got to make it on my own, you know? So I feel like there's a struggle there, you know what I mean? Like just anything, you know, you want to ask her just, excuse me, the basic question, you know, there's nobody to ask. So, you know, like I do feel like the time when I probably would have needed her the most is the time when she transitioned. So
Yeah.
I can't speak to like any more of a adult friendship because, you know, I was just becoming an adult, you know, so, but I feel like the year that she did pass away, so many things happened in my life. It was just like boom, boom, you know, after the other. So yeah, that was wild.
Girl, I'm darn near 40 and I still be calling my mom and like, hey, so this is this price, but this is this price. Which one do you think I should get? So like I get like just those random things you feel like, you know.
Right.
And, you know, I think sometimes we take it for granted just being able to have our mothers, you know, to certain points in our life. You know,
Most definitely.
Yeah, you've been on the end of having to be, you know, caretaker, and you know, I think like a full circle thing, you know, which a lot of people experience at some point. That's definitely not maybe at the age you experience it, where you are the one that's being cared for to then being the caretaker.
Yep. As soon as I graduated from college, they came to my graduation, and my brother was like, "Mommy's not doing too well, so whatever plans you thought you had when you were graduating, you're moving back to New York." And I was like, what? I'm about to go have a hot girl summer in Atlanta. What are you talking about? But so I end up like graduating, moving straight to New York, which neither here nor there, but moving straight to New York and like, you know, taking care of her. And then we kind of went back and forth to Atlanta. And then she, you know, was like, she's ready to go back to Costa Rica because, you know, we're Costa Rican. And, you know, she wanted to pass away over there anyway. So like, you know, like, not that she went over there to die, because she still was over there for like a year and a half, 2 years before she transitioned. But that's where she wanted to go. And then, you know, as soon as everybody started getting their own life back on track, you know, then she passed away. So, but yeah, we were like in the hospital every other day, you know, like, so it was fast. Everything happened super fast, like no time to think at all, you know, so there's that.
Lorenzi, can you talk about the transition in the relationship with you and your mom? Have you seen it? Do you think it's coming? Where like it's more of like a friendship or more than just a mother-daughter relationship at this point for you?
So my mom was young when she had me. So I think we started out early, at least with the bond. Now, I didn't grow up thinking my mama was my friend. Every now and then she said, "Oh, you're my best friend now," and I'd be like,
"Don't do my buddy like that."
But okay, so you know how some like you and your mom, you guys talk to each other on the phone every day or a couple times a day. Well, I told my mom, I was like, some of the girls at church, they talk to their mama every day. So I think we need to talk to each other every day. And you talk to your mama every day. So we need to try it. Girl, by the third or fourth day, we get to the point, it was dead silence. My mom said, "You think we talked enough?" I said, "Yeah, I don't think this is working out."
Oh my goodness. Even though go ahead. I'm sorry, Rams. Go ahead.
But I think the biggest change was going from "don't be out there having no babies. If anybody touch you, tell me." That was the sex talk. We ain't go anywhere beyond that. Nobody talk. So when you go to your mama for advice, it's like, no, we ain't had them kind of conversations. But for whatever reason, it transitioned to, "Ooh, I can't wait till I'm a grandmother." And I'd be like, "You got that dog? And now you got a whole nother dog. There you go."
That's it.
I told my mom, I said, well, thank goodness this was before my sister had the kids. She started trying to work with me. I said, well, thank goodness you got 3 others, because it ain't happening. For the longest, I told her, I don't even want kids. Like, I don't want kids. So don't think about me. And she'd be like, well, I'm praying. You're going to change your mind. It's all of this. So I was like, don't pray for that. And, you know, it's the saying about, I don't know if y'all familiar with, they say, like, old people put the mouth on you. Or have y'all heard that? So it's okay for people out there who may not know. That means like they say something, it's kind of like speaking over you, and it's going to happen to you. So as she would get older, she would say those sorts of things. Well, you're gonna have some kids. I said, don't put that mouth on me. Do not put that on me. And she, I wouldn't have to put them. I said, oh yes, you are. You're up there now. You can put the mouth on people. You can do it. But even though, like, we talk every day, we do talk every day, just about. Maybe sometimes on the weekends it might not happen every day, but at least once on the weekend. But we talk because I kind of have a routine. I talk to her on my way home. Now, it might not be long conversation. Some days it's a little, you know, a little longer than the others, but it's not always like out conversations or anything like that. But just to check it, probably because my mom is Nancy. You know, she's very nervous and worried type of person. So she needs to, you know, she can't physically lay hands on me. So she need to be able to reach me and make sure everything is okay and all of that. So, you know, my dad, on the other hand, he's like, all right, I talked to him about maybe once, twice a week. Everything going okay? Yeah. All right. Then he holds the phone. Don't have anything to say. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and so and so and so. Go, okay. And make sure you check them with you. I checked them with her. So he wanted to make sure that I'm checking in with everybody else and everything's okay. But she's a little more nervous type. So that's a part of the reason. You know. But yeah. I say distance does us well, but
that is hilarious. Well, my mom and I, we used to talk every day, especially when I was pregnant with Bree. She would call me every morning at 9 o'clock my time, which would be like 6 o'clock her time. And I'm like, for the love of God, why are you up this early? Why are you up that early? But she'll be calling, like checking on the baby. Did you get up? Make sure you walking, make sure you eating, make sure you moving, like every day like clockwork. And then, before that, I guess I used to live with her, so we didn't have to talk every day. I was in the house. But yeah.
Woo, but I know living with my mom, because after school I stayed in Atlanta for a year and probably spent more money than I should have. And then I was like, okay, I'm going Savannah State. I'm gonna go to Savannah State. They accepted me and I'm going home. And that was different. It was like I stepped backwards in time. Because even then, she was like, she didn't want me to go anywhere outside of school. She didn't want me to stay out. And me, I was like, I've been doing this for so long. I mean, it's not rare for me to stay over and come back the next day. But she has a problem with me. She had a problem with me doing that. Them other children, they be gone and gone and gone. They go for days and weeks.
And she don't have a problem.
Boys.
It's the boys, honey.
Yeah.
It's boys. Boys get away with way more things than we could ever imagine.
But one thing I loved in Atlanta, there was a club called the Library. And
I remember that.
Something, Mom be like, "Where are you? The library." And she's like, "The library." I said, "It's a club." And see, I was shocked.
You actually told her the truth.
Yeah, I was like, it's a club called the Library. Oh, and then so moving forward, she'll be like, where you at? The library? I said, yeah, the real one this time.
That's cute.
But have your mom ever called you while you were in class? What?
No.
I guess because y'all were local.
Maybe, yeah.
No, I mean, my mom moved back to New York when I went to college. That's why I ended up living on campus at Savannah State.
Right.
I was supposed to go to Morgan State and the in-state tuition. So my brother's ex-girlfriend, they lived in the Maryland area, supposed to be using their address or whatever. And I missed the deadline. So I would have to wait a year or a semester or whatever. And Savannah State wrote back, and I was like, well, I'll go to Savannah State for like a semester, and then I don't know why I just didn't go home, but whatever. So yeah, I ended up going to Savannah State, and then I was like, I don't really have to move schools. Like it's okay down here. It's not that bad. And then I ended up staying. But yeah, I would have never met you guys. Well, I would have met you, Ari, but I would never met you.
And we may have actually ended up meeting up again at Morgan, because I was supposed to go there as well.
And I was
okay.
Would you say you're supposed to go to Howard?
Oh, yeah. Probably.
So maybe, never know.
But then our line would have been 57 and not 60.
we would have been drawn back to Savannah.
I'm sure. Like I'm sure they would have put some other people in line.
Yeah, I'm sure. I forgot we recorded.
But it wouldn't have been us.
We had a clear breakdown of how many people were there, and
I just said we recorded. Now Ramsey got a whole lot to cut out.
I cut that out, but I couldn't resist it. Well, any final thoughts on motherhood before we end out this episode of the Lab Review?
So I would just say cherish your mothers and cherish the time that you have with them from someone who doesn't, have that. So that's my take on it. Like, when I hear people like, I don't talk to my mom, or, like it's just different for me, and it may be biased, right? So
yeah. You know what?
There's that.
But I think that's maybe something we could have, or should touch on. I don't know how long we've been recording.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Keep going.
It's not, I don't know. I don't know. Do we want to talk about strained relationships and how to work around that? And let's not.
Oh no, I ain't no counselor.
I ain't had it either. No, I ain't said. I mean, what I was going to say is, do you think like some people feel like it's your mother regardless of things that happen?
Right.
And even though that's your mother, like, oh, you should forgive them and still be there for them and love them and blah, 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 blah. And I don't think that's fully any of our experience to the full extent of how some of those things can be. So I don't think that we can necessarily speak directly to that. So that's why I'm saying we don't necessarily have to talk about that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that would be hard for me to talk about. I wouldn't know where to begin, because I know so many people have had traumas with their mom. And I even know people that have had trauma with their mom, but they still try to, help them out. But I can't speak to that. My mom, sometimes I was like, she actually was the best mom ever. And then I remember those stories, but I got to side eye you every now and then.
Yeah.
But no, I just need my mama to find her man, because all she do is making all this cricket stuff and asking for these cricket toys, and they're not cheap. I said, you getting expensive in your old age.
They are not cheap.
No, and she want all
those
these
cricket toys are not cheap.
printers. I said, you gonna turn this into a business?
Oh, she is not a business for her?
No, she get people this stuff for free, and
what?
A whole room dedicated to cricket.
No, she plays
really good stuff. She makes some really nice things, but I'm like, you might as well start economizing. But first, let me put in my order.
Right.
But Britt, I got a question. What do you expect for Mother's Day, like gifts and things?
What do I expect?
Yeah. Do you have like a wish list? Is there certain things you like your family to do for you?
So no, like I used to be really big on like my kids' handmade presents. Like I still keep those and like love when they made things at school. But the best that they could do for me is just let me get some extra sleep.
No breakfast in bed?
I feel like that's not like a Mother's Day thing. Like we do, like we do that every now and then. We already do that.
Oh.
So like I don't have like a big to do.
Okay.
Like it's typically just another day. but I would love to receive gifts. Like, I'm not opposed to it.
But it's
Or,
the
hell, if they wanted to get up and clean up, like I'd be like, well, thank God. I don't even asking you since New Year.
Okay.
But
And what about you, Ari? You got a list for your
but I
mom?
typically
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Britt.
I was gonna say that I typically have the kids for Mother's Day. So we'll just do something. We will, catch a movie, or I'll just do something with my babies, So that's always because my husband's usually, for some reason, the schedule always falls with him working on Mother's Day.
Really?
Yeah, for the most part.
Well, don't forget what Stephanie tried to teach us when we were talking about yoga, taking that mom time,
yes.
Yes.
your self time. I shouldn't call it mom time, but your self time.
Yeah. So I try to get some self time in there, but I don't know. For the most part, we don't have any like traditions or any. I'm not looking forward to any miraculous thing happening. If we go to dinner, that'd be nice. If the kids want to help me make breakfast, that'd be, like whatever it is, that'd be nice. I just like honestly enjoy just spending time with them. We'll just find something fun to do.
Okay. And what about you, Ari? You got does your mom have a list?
I feel bad because just the other day I was talking to her and it was something she mentioned she wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember now what it is. But so I'm going to have to ask her again. She knows that I'm not very good with surprises, so I usually ask her some things you want, and then get something from there. Normally, typically in the past, my mom is a little bit bougie when it comes to gifts. She likes her Brahmin bags. She likes certain things like that. Her little Coach crossbodies, her little things like that. But a nice little chain, something, But she's like, well, I'm really not going anywhere. So this is something that I can use in the house, and I can't remember what it is. So,
Does she have an air fryer?
oh yeah, she is.
Okay.
Was it some
I'm trying to
pajamas?
remember what it's not pajamas. It's I'll have to ask her. It's not a secret. I'll tell her to remind me. But I feel bad now because she just told me like 2 days ago.
She didn't tell your brother?
It's what she wanted from me. So,
Okay.
Oh.
I
yeah.
just
Oh,
wondered
okay.
what he heard. Is it some pajamas or something like that? Oh.
No, but it's something she can
I
use in the
said
house.
pajamas.
I can't remember what it is. I'll ask her, but since we've been kind of homebound with COVID and everything, especially her, she's on lockdown. She really she hadn't really wanted anything too extravagant. So, and normally like in the past we would take her to like a nice dinner, may give her some money, or buy her a little something like in the past I think like me and my brother we went on like a Brahmin bag and wallet, something like that.
Oh,
But that's the benefit in having 3 siblings. So
well, 3 siblings with jobs.
yeah, 3 siblings with
3 siblings that are givers.
yeah.
Right.
So you can always there's always at least one you can pull in to be like, okay, because then you got the cheap sibling, So then there's always at least one you can pull in that we can split something. At least you can split.
Girl, which one is the cheap sibling so I can laugh?
I'm gonna leave that alone. They know.
Well, when we go on break.
I feel like I know which one it is too.
Probably. So there. Oh, I could tell y'all some Mother's Day dinners we've gone out, and they're like, "Why are we going to this place?" Because this is where Mom wants to go.
I know who it is. Like,
Why are we going? Why do we have to go here? And I'm like, look, if y'all have a problem with it, you don't have to come. It's one day a year. What you're not gonna do? I had this straight up conversation. I don't remember if it was Mother's Day or my mother's birthday, but it was like complaining about everything, the cost of things, the place we went, and I'm like, what y'all not gonna do?
We gonna cut this off, La Ramsey, because I don't want her mom to listen to this.
Ari don't care. She didn't say which one. Mama probably already knew.
I know, but that probably sounds bad.
Because they cheap.
I think she kind of talked about it when we did the Christmas episode.
Sure.
Very slightly.
Well, let me summarize it and say this. I have a particular sibling that's cheaper than the others. And we've had to have conversations about, look, either you can come and enjoy, or you can leave your cheapness elsewhere. So, we've had those conversations. Okay. I guess the rest you can omit.
Well, I mean, but I'm sure your mom knows who is what, and
She
like,
knows.
for the first time ever in life, I was able to go not completely half on the gift, but not have to pay for the whole gift. And it was just this past spring, not spring, but winter for my mom's birthday. That was the first time. And I was
Progress.
Yeah, I was shocked. I think she was too. He bought her a card, and she was just like, "It's the first time he ever bought me a card." But he messed it up, though. It was supposed to be a gag card. He was supposed to give her a funny card, and the funny card was supposed to come with some, like, one of her favorite candies, some Mike and Ike. Then we were supposed to turn around and give her the real card and the real gift. This boy bought her a sentimental card. I said, it wasn't supposed to be sentimental. It was supposed to be funny. Because first he was like,
that is hilarious.
what did she say when she got the card? She cried. I said, did you hurt her feelings? What did the card say? I just thought, I was like, okay, I said buy a funny one, but you ain't hurt her feelings. Was it me? Then he read it to me. I said, boy, that ain't funny.
Then I have another sibling. I have one of my siblings that's competitive about cards. So every year it's like, my card is the best card. My card is the best card. And I'm like,
I know who that person is too. Like, I feel like I know who these people are.
That person probably need to create their own cards.
like, why is this a competition? But my card is the best. Whatever, but I don't really care.
Is that brother one of the twins?
There's only two twins. I'm one, and I have a brother that's the other. So why would I do that to my one?
It was a joke, Jack.
Over my head. That went over my head.
That's hilarious.
Duh, girl.
But cool. Well, Britt, since you are the only mother, but you are a TT.
And a godmommy.
Happy Mother's Day, ladies.
Oh.
Happy Mother's Day. I hope you enjoyed everything about it. Even if, it doesn't matter. I want you to be celebrated. Happy TT's Day. Happy Mother's Day. And happy Mother's Day to all of your mothers, even your mother in heaven. So
thank you.
And to our audience too, happy Mother's Day.
So listen, y'all. Did y'all see the meme that I posted the other day with the couple? They were eating food and the lady was like, I don't like mine. I want yours. And she like snatched her, I guess, boyfriend's food out of his hand and like gave him her food. So it was hilarious. So anyway, I decided to do a poll on my personal page to ask the fellas, like, how do they feel about their women eating off of their plate or like taking their food, the whole nine. Ladies, you guys will be surprised at how many men said that they do not like their women eating off their plates. They do not like sharing their food. They don't think it's cute. They don't like it at all.
Oh, really?
Like, I was shocked because I eat off his plate all the time. So, of course, I asked him, how did he feel about it? And his response was, and I have so many of these, but it was like, 9 times out of 10, I asked you what you wanted to eat. Like, why didn't you pick what you wanted to eat? So what are your thoughts?
Was that the feedback you were getting to that?
So other guys said, one guy said that he thinks it's very cute. It's a bonding moment. It's just food. He don't mind sharing. It was only one guy. The rest of them was like, if I took you out to eat, obviously I could afford what's on the menu. That means you could order whatever you wanted to order. why like you could have ordered 2 meals if you wanted to. Like I got all kind of stuff. The man was like, he rather you order 2 meals than eat up his plate.
They hot.
It was really, yeah, I was really taken aback because I was like, yeah, I really don't like that.
So you mean that's not romantic?
So okay, no, no, they don't like that. Or her eating off his plate because she got her food and he has his food too. But it's like, oh, I want to taste yours. They don't like that.
So
Yeah, they don't like that at all. Look, see, he don't like it either.
And they start young.
They start real young. They start at 7 because my boy would not share anything on his plate with you.
He was mad.
He doesn't. He's real, but he's a cancer. That's a whole nother story. He's very selfish. He's selfish and spoiled. It's double whammies. But yeah, so ladies, how do you guys feel about that? Maybe we could poll the audience and see what they think as well. That might be a good poll to have.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Maybe we'll put it up there next week on our question of the month. But yeah, I personally, I don't like it unless,
Ooh.
yeah, I don't like it. So unless it's one of those, we tried it, I got a bunch, or you want to try it. So we will do that. But that's not like, I'm not going to take his first bite, even if he offers it to me. I'll be like, no, you try it first. That's your food. Because I'm like, no, I'm going to try it first. This is my food.
So you're doing what you want done to you.
Okay. I was saying that, in my personal opinion, I am not that kind of person. If I had a meal and my spouse or partner had a meal too, and they wanted to try something off my plate, I don't have a problem. Just let me try something back off your plate so we have the even amount of food. That's just my hope. That's just my whole thing. Like if you take a shrimp, I want a piece of your chicken or, something comparable, let me get some, but I don't have a problem with it. So I was really shocked, y'all, because I literally will be like, that look good. I do that all the time. And he even said, he was like, yeah, that shit is horrible.
You don't ask first. You basically take it.
Don't do it.
So like, oh girl.
Well, what I find works is like, if it's something like that you both are interested in, if you order the opposite things and then like, you're like, okay, you get this, I'll try a little bit of yours. And then you can try a little bit of mine. That kind of works. But for me, it depends on, do you know what I mean? Like you both order something different that you both want to try. So then you can get a little taste of it. But for me, like if it's something that like is my favorite or something that I have that I really, really want, I'm not as likely to share as I would be like if it's just something regular. I'm like, okay, here, you can ask, but yeah, that works.
But you know what's the worst thing with that, Ari? If theirs is really good and yours isn't that good, it's like, oh man, I knew I wanted that.
Yeah, right. Well, you got a little taste, so you made your choice.
But if you make the wrong choice,
I gotta live with it.
Oh,
to me, I can live with it. I made that choice. I might try and see if it could work.
So
I live with it.
My one of the responses even said, if she liked my food or saw something that she wanted, if I took her out to eat, I could afford for this, she could order another meal. He just did not want her eating off his plate.
Wow. Well, hey, I would be okay with that.
Oh, I like the way yours came out. Can I order what he just had, that situation, and like wait for a whole nother meal?
So then somebody's gonna be eating without the other one. The food's gonna be cold if I gotta wait on you. Like, I don't know about that either.
That's a bit much.
To me, it's just food.
I mean, but we gonna order 3 meals.
I don't got it yet.
We ordering 3 meals now? That's just a bit much.
That's just a bit much. But you have to go, I guess some people feel like to that extent, like they want what they want. And so, I guess it's a way to say it. And I'm not I'm not willing the reason that I'm not willing to share is because I'm cheap. It's because I want my food for myself. I will order you
Right.
This is what you want. Even though you said you wanted this
Right.
and you got
Okay. My thing is, say for instance, you see something like a dessert, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want a dessert, and then you be like, it's usually my husband's like, oh no, I'm full, I don't want a dessert. Then my dessert come out. Oh, that looks real good. Can I try that? You had your opportunity to order your dessert. You said no. Or if it's candy, like something I saw, and I'd be like, oh, I want that. He'd be like, I don't want that. As soon as I get it home, oh, that's real good. Oh, let me try some. And I let him try. Oh, that's real good. I'll be like, oh, hold up, player. Hold up, player.
But see, like those things don't bother me.
Here you go.
Right.
I have to back up. What'd you say, Britt?
I was like, that don't typically bother me, like, especially for dessert. Like he might say he don't want dessert, and I'm like, just bring 2 spoons, lady. I ain't trying. He gonna want one. He gonna, and if he eat it, he eat it. Shit, if he don't, more for me.
Dessert, I'm less likely to want to share.
Less likely?
Aw.
No, I am more likely wanting to share dessert, so I don't look like a whole fatty over here. Like I was shit.
But you love your
This
sweets. I'm
really
surprised.
See, I will share it.
But now we in COVID.
What is your
But we in COVID, so everything come home. So you won't look like a fatty because nobody know who eating what.
Oh, girl, you don't know yet. The city is open. No, I'm just playing. Wait, COVID, what is that?
True. Did y'all see the meme? It's like the CDC says that the rest of the world can now carry on like Atlanta.
Yes.
Because Atlanta's been carrying on like there's no corona.
Yeah, but that's still wrong. Yeah. The CDC didn't say that.
Yeah, but I mean, the CDC don't know what it wanted to say. But anyway, but they keep going back and forth. But anyway, back to this.
So yeah, Britt, are you one of those that you like to try people food, even not your husband?
No.
Like, okay.
So usually it's presented to me like, hey, because I always order seafood when I go out, right? Because I don't know, like I love seafood. So it's usually like, can I get one of your mussels, shrimp, or somebody want to take something off my plate? And it's always, okay, well, let me get something off your damn plate. Like, I don't mind, but I'm never like I'm gonna do a trade because you're not gonna leave me with 2 shrimp and you still got shrimp and chicken on your plate. What the hell? So it's gonna be an even trade. So I don't mind. Like I won't ever say no. Like I may be like, damn it, but I won't ever say no. And I'll give it, but I won't ever ask because I don't really ask my husband. Like I just be putting my, so I can't go on your plate and you could be like, get out of here.
All right. So Ari, next convention conference we go with Britt. Britt, you got that expensive.
It was the arugula
shrimp. Can I give you this little piece of chicken? I got some French fries.
Oh no, girl! I'll be like, and my shrimp is a prawn, so you have to give me 2 pieces of chicken.
Let me just find a good what kind of arugula salad? She'll give up anything for that.
It has to be just like the arugula salad we had with the pecans, the grapes. What else is in it? That shit was so good, y'all. I ain't never had a salad so good in my life. I still ain't never had one so good.
That was good.
I don't know what it was. Maybe because it was the first. Was it the first?
No.
It wasn't that first?
No. No.
It was that second?
No, I think the one where you had the arugula salad, that's probably 2016 or something.
Maybe. That sounds about right.
So that was the second.
Was that when was that when he was there?
Yes.
Yes, girl, that was a whole experience.
So maybe that's why the arugula salad was
so she like eat the arugula salad.
I'm not saying maybe.
When I'm with
yeah, that was the whole experience. They set the bar high, honey, and it ain't never been back up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, have I been since then? I don't think so.
So, ladies, that is what I had for today. So let's drop that poll next week. Let's see what the world thinks.
Yes, I'm very curious.
Please leave your comments down below. What's your thoughts?
I really want to hear from the fellas. Or if women have stories, that, how that went down. Would love to hear that too.
Yes.
Like, have you ever tried to take food off a man's plate and he was like, don't do that.
You pop your hand like your mama. Get that. Get that.
Don't do that, please.
Vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. Like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel some type of way because Pebbles, I'm always throwing her food down, but Ricky, all he want to do is give her the bad stuff, like the scraps, the unwanted food.
Oh.
Potatoes,
you think he does that?
Huh?
Do you think he does that because she's? Do you think he does that because she's a dog?
You know what? But he be blocking her blessings because we went to his parents' house and his dad was ready to feed her everything he wanted to feed her, and he go, no, she don't need all that food. She don't need all. It's like she could eat. Why she can't eat? He trying to give her good stuff, blocking her blessing.
Girl.
Oh, Pebbles. Listen, Pebble in her older years, she should be able to get what she wants.
Right, the golden girl. Well, ladies, what's on the plate for next month's episode?
Tune in
Is
next
that Father's Day?
Oh, we should have maybe thought about it.
We don't skip Father's Day, but we don't skip vacation. Vacation me, please.
We sure just get right to vacations. Should we do something?
Fathers like vacations.
Ooh.